Good and well, welcome back to Not in My Lifetime channel. Tuesday evening. I know it's a bit of a weird day when we go live, but it's a bit of it's a good time to have a review of the Derby on Sunday. Usually, I like to give at least a day or two before after a game to properly assess, especially if we're not necessarily a win or a loss. Obviously, I know there's games on right now. I don't care about any of the games. We're not in them. It doesn't concern me at all. I'm interested in more about what we're doing. And yeah, Bevo again, mate. How you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, decent, yeah, decent. I know City's been a bit hit and miss, but everything else has been all right. So it's just it's kind of like you got a lot of ambition in football where it's not going well. Find other things.
Just don't let the negativity of City get in the way of your life. Yeah, exactly. Everything else in your life's going well, and enjoy it.
We get into games. Big up to the Snowy boys, by the way, because they've just officially, obviously, finished. Well, we don't know. Obviously, it's done completely. Hopefully, not. Hopefully, one day they're back doing it again. In time, hopefully. But both of them, obviously, are finished with it. I get it. Obviously, both during football, it's a busy time, but especially in America, when it's very different over here. How it works, getting the soccer and football over there. So, big up to them. And obviously, I wish all the families themselves are best of luck, obviously, doing their careers. But I think for me, especially when you look at what the and obviously that I won't go into it really because it's not my thing to go into. We'll let you watch our last stream. Does have a go of it. It's more of a discussion about how far the fan base has just declined this season. I don't care who you are, if you've got 30k subs, 100k subs, and it's no dig at anyone in particular, by the way. Everyone's, all of us have been at fault of it, yeah. Just falling out of each other, not being in it, and it's not who we are, man. And I said it before, I'll keep saying it again. I made mistakes. We've all fell out of people. It happens, but we've got to try to move forward and kick on and try and sort of, build back that fan base again. I'm sure we will in time, but it's been one of those seasons more where we learn more when we lose. We learn more when things don't go our way when we actually do win. And I just wish that we as a fan base, we just sort of, it is what it is. Things have happened. Words have been said that obviously weren't meant at the time, obviously, in the moment of frustration. As Martin said perfectly, obviously, I think he put a statement out on his YouTube today, but obviously he's going away, I think, for a bit himself, which is good. It's good for him. It's going away with family. We got to start getting back to being together again as a fan base. Look, it's been a shit season. Facts. It has been. But it doesn't mean we have to start each other and fight each other over stupid shit. Let's just get back onto the football again. Look, season is what it is. What is what it is. If you're ready, whatever it is this season, we go again in the summer and next season and get behind the team. And that's all I want to say on that anyway. But to the last season of the podcast, big up to them. They're always welcome on our channel at some point in the future, whether they feel like it, and it'll be good. So, yeah, and I'll get that out of the way and sort of just say what I need to say, because it's sad to see more people, more creators in our community leaving the scene. It's never nice, everyone together, but it's what it is, unfortunately, isn't it? Big up Steve.
Do wish them both all the best.
Yeah. And you're right, Steve. It's become a nasty place on social media, like Twitter and X. It's become a cesspit recently. It really, like, one of Tone's left. I was like, well, I know Tone obviously runs the podcast where he sort of checking every now and again, but it's become a real cesspit recently. I mean, I post them myself still, but I don't really go on them much as I used to, because it's just really negative, right? Like, some people that I met on that are good people that I've generally I've got friends to this day, like yourself and many other people, right? But the problem is, the best part of it when we were doing well was that we were all together chatting away and chat. It was a bit more of a discussion. Now it's just open warfare, and it's like, and this game before the game started, the actual lineup as well, right? It was like World War III after last week against Bournemouth. Now the Bournemouth game was good. Well, it was a good performance from midfield. I can't say it wasn't terrible. It was actually pretty good. But I did say in that game, it's one game. You can't judge a midfield after one game. It needs to be doing it consistently. If you use certain players consistently, you've got to judge them over a period of time. And in this United game, And the midfield we went for with Gundogan, Bernardo, Kovacic, and De Bruyne, and no Nico Gonzalez in midfield. You need someone with legs in that. I'm not against using Gundogan, De Bruyne with Nico. That's fine. You got some legs, so you can make up for it. That's fine. But you got to understand, you can't just put 4 of them in there. It's better to work out, especially wingers got no width. Like I get control in the game, but when we haven't had much chance to put the ball back in the net, it's not really ideal. And again, Pep is the manager, he's in charge of the team. And I'm not sitting there questioning him, but you've got to sit back and ask the question, could we have at least started with like Savinho on the wing to offer a little bit of outlet as the winger? Could we at least have played Nico Gonzalez in the midfield position for the first half and changed it around second half? Why do I feel like I get Foden has legs, right? But Phil Foden does not look like a player that's in it right now. Like, don't get me wrong, first half he actually looked okay. I thought he looked okay, but the problem is he's clearly not at it right now. And I'm wanting to turn it around. I'm sure he will in time. But he's struggling out there, mate. He's struggling out there at the moment. And it's hard to watch, but this summer, take him out of the spotlight. Give him a summer off for family and let him recover. What do you think, mate?
Yeah. Yeah, just the whole capitulation of every aspect of the football club this season, from the board making decisions on creating sponsorships with ticketing touting systems, to right the way through to management and set piece coach, and right the way through the squad. Like, just the whole this year has just been the worst that I've seen from not just the team, but from every aspect of the football club. Now, that also includes the women's team. Obviously, you had Chloe Kelly wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Taylor getting sacked. Right the way through the system, it's just been so poor.
Mm-hmm. No, but it has been, and this is the thing. Like I said before, right, I watch both teams. So I mean, I'm a big women's fan for City as well. And when you look at how we're playing on both teams right now, both teams need rebuilds. Like the women's team, I'd say they're a little bit closer to being good than the men's team right now. But judging both on where they are right now in the leagues, but the women's team at the moment, right, has some good quality. Miedemar, Shaw, players that are good. I think Brian Shaw probably the best striker in the world for me. For me, the way she is world class, in my opinion, she's world class striker. But you can do something like leave Bath if you don't give her the backup she needs. Like last season, we were in for a title race with Chelsea, and then all of a sudden you get injured, no backup striker because the club didn't prepare properly. You got to prepare, and we win the. I think the club for me have stood still for a bit too long off treble. I get it's the first time on treble. It happens to any. I'm sure it happens to anyone. But if you want to be up there competing, you've got to be improving the team every year. You've got to be constantly improving, evaluating. I get it done that before. We have done that really well before the treble season. But you can't just stop. Like all changes.
For me, it's a deeper problem than just. It's a deeper problem than just what's going on the pitch. It seems to be something which is affecting the entire club. From the decisions that the club, like I've said, the decisions that the club have made in going against fans' wishes, and having this multi-year sponsorship deal with Viagogo, who have been known to have been investigated over the years for touting laws, because of the prices that but that they sat on tickets, it's gone against UK ticketing laws. And they've made that quite clear that they're sticking by their decision and going ahead with the multi-year sponsorship deal. Now, when the club itself at the moment is going through, well, has just been through court for APT, is also in court for 115, who is also now apparently going back to court again for something else, which came out on the same day that De Bruyne told us he was leaving.
Yep.
It's, you're not, as a club, we should be doing everything that we can to make sure that we're effectively whiter than white when it comes to business deals that we're making off the pitch when we've got all of these other court cases, overhanging our heads. Fair enough if we're making sponsorship deals with, WWE and things like that. You can say that's a great business decision. But when the fans all season have been complaining about the price of tickets, and then you go and add, not bearing in mind, you're not just adding a first or a second ticket out. This is the 9th.
£61 for Palace on Saturday. 61 on a 12:30 kickoff. You're currently you're currently in a battle to get top 5 Champions League football. You need the fans behind you. The players need the fans behind them to push them right through to the end of the season. And the absolute knobheads up in the bloody boardroom cannot see we actually need to properly invest and invest. Give the fans back something important. I thought the support they've given us this year. Half price tickets, 30 quid it should be. 30
and then on top of that, it seems to be a virus that's kind of going through the entire club. On the men's side, you've got Pep Guardiola, who's deciding to play the same 3 or 4 players every game when it's not worked at all this season. The first time that he did it, so why after the 30th time it's going to work? He's just beyond me. And you can see the effects that this is having right the way through the team. Foden's looked miles off it. Now, some people say that, and bearing in mind, we're not just talking about Foden here. We're talking about everyone. You've got Edison that clearly doesn't want to be at the club anymore. Doesn't look like his head's in it at all. You've got Foden that's completely dropped off. Just nothing in this club seems right at the moment. And then on top of that, you've got Cheeky, which is leaving, which, could be a good thing. But then you've got Gareth Taylor that's just been sacked from the women's team because he wasn't playing Chloe Kelly. Chloe Kelly come out and said that she didn't want to play for the club anymore because, and I'm pretty sure her words were something along the lines of it was a toxic place.
Just sure mate.
Or hinted that it was a toxic place.
Sorry. Arsenal just scored against Madrid, by the way.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's a Rice free kick. Sorry, I thought it said something now, but you can carry on. I just wanted to let you know anyway. Go
on. And then you've got all that's happening in the women's team and Taylor getting sacked. And for me, it's not just if you could look at it and go, okay, well, there's one aspect that needs changing, and that's people that that make the decisions on sponsorships, which originally was what's his face that went over to United. He was initially in charge of sponsorships at the club. But if it's that, but you're talking about everything, every aspect. The set piece coach this season has been ridiculously poor. There's not one thing that I can take away from this season, performance wise, that I can actually turn around and say, do you know what? like I can see a positive. Like, you know, some players like Gvardiol, you know, has had a half decent season. Fair play to him. Mamouche, since he's come in, has done reasonably well. You know, he's done pretty well. But overall, just everything has just seemed miles off it.
Yeah.
I think there's a deeper problem than just fit. I genuinely believe there's a deeper problem than just going and buying a few players. I think the problem is way bigger than that.
I think it's a board mentality because I'm gonna be real, right? Look, I'm not happy with the results on the pitch, but look, I'm deep sea, right? Big up, right? I do agree with. I think Pep for me has got things wrong this season, but isn't just Pep that's the issue. The entire club right now is suffering at the moment. We're suffering from. I think as Steve said, it's the treble. Treble actually caused more issues. It solved them for me. It caused more issues because we kind of stood still as a club. Like, do you notice how important the fan base was to the club during the treble season and before that? Like, if football tickets, everything at a good price, you felt like, well, apart from kits, but that's a whole different issue. But you know what I mean, it felt like the club and the fans were together. Since then, it's like Soriano just switch. It's like, right, everything's been won now. Business time. It's like they flipped the switch too early. He's like, was it whatever the saying is, but jump the shark, or I don't know what the saying is, but you know what I mean, something like that.
He's like jump ship too soon.
Exactly.
Sort of
he's kind of gone to that side way too early, and as a result, fans are getting priced out. Yeah, because they're going to say now, if we get Europa League next year, by the way, tourists aren't coming to see. Yeah, Haaland will be there.
I'll tell you now, I don't think we get Champions League next season. I don't think there is a world in which there's a world in which we get Champions League.
Look, if we do, we do. But I'm saying it right now, right? If it's Europa League, so be it. Because honestly,
well, you look at the remaining fixtures, right? We've got Crystal Palace at the weekend, who are no mugs, by the way.
No,
I actually think they've got. I'm pretty sure is it at Palace?
We're at home.
Right. I mean, I can't remember what the stat is, but either home or away, like they've got one of the best defenses in the league.
Well, no Guehi, but this is the thing though. I don't care who's out for them. We've got to score some goals. Our lack of goals is shocking, mate. By the way, 2-1, 2. It's like we can't seem to score more than two goals in the game right now. It's weird. Like we need to, and no Haaland, right? It's even harder. Like we got to start finding that more. Look, I think at the back, I think we're all right. For me, we're actually okay at the back now. I think that's not actually much of an issue for me anymore. It's going forward.
I do think there's elements of the back which need improving.
Yeah, Steve, hang on, Steve. Yeah, that's for me.
The thing is, though, we were champions of Europe 2 years ago.
Exactly, 2 years ago this year.
Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. You know, because I've said it a few times to you off air as well. But I've had this same mentality right the way through. At what point do we stop talking about 4 in a row and treble winners and go, yeah, that was great, but we're self-imploding now? Like what we did last season, absolutely fantastic, but you know, if we continue down this path, we're not going to see 2 in a row again.
Yeah.
You know, at what point do we stop using the but we're treble winners? Oh yeah, but we won 4 in a row. That's in the past. There has to come a point where you turn around and say, yeah, what we've seen in the past is great, but if we want to continue to be a serious club, then we need to get our heads out of our arses and do something about it, and then go again next season.
Yeah. For me, right, a fact check I big up to you, right? Lilo for me has been a massive issue that when you need someone next to Pep that's going to challenge him, because Lilo doesn't challenge him at all. Maresca challenged him, so did Arteta, and so did another guy as well. But we've always had people on the bench that get questioned Pep's decision making and make these things differently. And what happened? We won stuff because of it. Arteta with Sterling, Moravsky a lot, obviously with Hard Alvarez. It worked brilliantly, and we need that. Like, for me personally, I think if we do, I agree with you. I think if we do get Champions League, it'll be a last day thing. It'll be a last gas thing. And I'll be honest with you, right? Do we even deserve Champions League right now? No.
Just going back to it. Just going back to that, right? Crystal Palace at the weekend. That's not a guaranteed win at all. We've then got Everton. Everton drew with Arsenal last game and only lost 1-0 to Liverpool the game before.
Yeah,
it's one of their last games at Goodison. They're on fire at the moment. I'm going to be real. I can't see us beating them.
Be a draw.
We've got Villa, who are on fire, and I don't think have lost a game since February.
Mate, it beat Forest 2-1. PSG, watch them get a result tomorrow. I'm just going to say it now.
Do we get a result against them? No, I don't think so. So that's we are not guaranteed top 5 at all. At all.
Yeah. The thing is, fact check. I'll be honest with you, right? If Pep does go right, and I get there's a real good sentiment of Pep out right in some of the fans, right? I'm not against the idea. Look, I'm not someone that said, no, you're wrong saying that. Like, it's your opinion, right? At the end of the day, right, on this channel, you have an opinion. You're entitled to it. But for me, I just feel like Pep needs a chance to turn it around. But if he doesn't do well next season, then we say, right, competitions are needed at this point. Because for me, that's my opinion, though. Your opinion might be different to mine, but in this channel, you actually allow that opinion, crack on with it. That's sort of how I see it. In this fan base, we're too worried about whose opinion's right, whose opinion's wrong. No one cares. It's your opinion. It's not North Korea. We're here to have a chat. Not fuck you for saying that. Can't say that. I'm not here for that. Not as Bevo. Not as anyone in the chat. So, this is the thing, though, Steve. Our rivals play each other, but if we're actually being serious here, though, our running's easy. But I'm going to say this right now: do you trust this team right now to get consistent results? I don't right now.
Let's pull up our final fixtures and let's go through
them. Hold on. It's a different career. West Korea, probably. Bear with me. I'll get the fixtures up. Make sure to leave a like, people who haven't already on the stream, or subscribe if you haven't already, on the road to 1.1k initially and 2k long term. Big up everyone obviously tuning in so far. Right, then bear with me. I'm just going to get up quickly. Come on, schedule. Oh, is it 2-0 right now? Something like that. No, it's still 1-0. Right. Bear with me. Just trying to get the fixtures up. So we're going from United onwards. There we go. Right, I will present. I'm gonna do share screen. Right, there we go. Just gonna check. Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah, it's just come through.
Cool. Right. So first game, Palace on Saturday. Now I think we can win, by the way, but the problem is, can we? It's the midfield that I'm worried about. Pep's got to pick the right midfield. If it's Nico Gonzalez in there,
it's not guaranteed. It's not a guarantee. It's not a guaranteed 3 points at all.
No, it's not. Holy shit! Arsenal now. Rice again. Bloody hell, Arsenal. Fair play.
I hope those don't the UCL. I really do.
To be fair, mate, Madrid is shite anyway. They are shite. PSG and Barcelona.
I really hope they don't, because you won't hear the end of it.
I know, but that's what happens, isn't it? Football.
Honestly, mate, if they do, I'm deactivating X. I'm just I'm done.
Well, mate, we've
gone.
Got to hope
I am fully gone.
We've got to be mate. No. Rice has scored 2 goals apparently. I think 2 free kicks apparently. Fucking hell, fair play. Look, mate, Rice though, mate. Fair play to Rice though. Good player.
The thing is though, they'll still go over to the Bernabeu and capitulate.
I'm gonna get, mate. We don't know, mate. If they do, they do. But I'm saying with football, mate, you don't know.
The thing is, the best teams in Europe go over to the Bernabeu and fold.
But again, I think for me, if Arsenal get more goals tonight, they can get a third and a fourth. They've every chance of going there and getting a result.
Yeah, yeah.
But mate, fair play to them though. Without certain players like Gabriel, 2-0 up at home, fair play. Can't knock it.
Nah, I'm not fair playing them. I can't stand them.
I know you can't. I'm just saying.
Can't stand them. The scumbags, mate. A lot of them. The fan base is the fan base is vile for a start.
I know.
Anyways,
yeah.
back to us.
Right,
so Crystal Palace, draw.
I'll go 2-1. I think we'll win that one. That's me, but I know you're different to me. Everton away, draw.
Draw.
Yep. Villa at home, I'll go draw.
Loss.
1-1. But if you go, fair enough, you go loss. Look, we're not the same on certain things, but that's just how I am.
Yeah, but the thing is, it could go either way. Yeah, we could get a win, but let's be real. Could you also see us losing that game? Because I could.
Yeah. Look, it's all about, for me, what Pep goes with now. If Pep can go with the right team and get goals from it, and we can do it. Let's say we got out of this, mate, like 7 points, mate. Brilliant. Fine.
Yeah.
If you can get a win here and here, brilliant. That's why I look at it. Yeah. Forest in the cup.
I do think we win that.
Yeah, I do as well.
Because even though it's a chance for Forest to get their name on a cup, I do feel like they'll probably be prioritising the Champions League because there's more money in it for them.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. And I think as well, especially I reckon a KDB special, I reckon. Just Pep, if you're going to play KDB, not a false 9, put Marmoush up front and you in behind.
Well, if we win the FA Cup, we're guaranteed Europa League anyway, so.
Yeah, Europa League. So obviously got
oh no!
What?
Do you know what I've just realised?
What?
If we win the FA Cup, we're in the Community Shield next season.
Oh, fuck.
No, not again.
I hate that trophy now. Bin it.
Wolves, I think they're unbeaten since February as well, aren't they?
They are, but we can beat Wolves. We can.
But if you look realistically at the Wolves team, they've got more points than us in 2025.
Yeah,
and they're awful.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, for me personally, I'll go with City, but yeah, it all depends, mate, on the running now, mate, for us. And who
this
plays.
is what I mean. You can't say yes they're going to win because the way we've been playing at the moment, so far, you've said, you can see us beating Palace, a draw against Everton. You can see us beating Villa. You can see us beating Wolves. Have we actually won 4 games in a row this season?
We have, but the start.
Well, this is what I mean, though.
Oh my God, Arsenal winning 3-0. They're gonna do it, aren't they? They're gonna do it. Of all seasons, man, they're gonna. But no, this proved my point. By the way, Madrid are shite. We're just worse than they are, which is why they got through us. If we were as good as Madrid, we'd have battered them. That's all I'm gonna say. But, mate, football's a humbler, isn't it? At times, there is a humbler. Right.
Can you stop watching that game and telling us the scores, please?
Pardon?
Can you stop watching that game and telling us the scores, please?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the fucking whatever. Carry on. I'm just looking at the score. Right.
I don't want to know. I do not want to know.
Stop making me cry. Right. So Wolves at home. Look, I'm gonna go win myself, but if you're different, that's fine. I mean, seriously, we can't get Southampton away. We've got serious issues, haven't we? Seriously.
But at the same time, they're on the beaches, so it's been proven over the years that when teams haven't got anything to play for, they seem to play better.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Look, I think we'll win that game. We should. If we don't, mate, mate, if we don't beat Southampton, mate, fucking hell. Bournemouth
draw or loss.
Well, then again, mate, have you watched them recently? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I have, but they've also been missing 2 key players the last few games.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go draw and then Fulham away. As last game. Draw. Yeah.
You've got to be real. You have to be real because
you're right. Yeah,
we could win these games, but the way we've been playing this season, we're also capable of losing them.
It depends on Pep as well, doesn't it? On Pep getting it right. He's got to stop getting it wrong, man. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, but I'm going to sort of catch up with constantly.
Look at that Look at that one from Facts Checker. That's a really, really interesting one.
Hold on, I've got to quickly go through the comments quickly on bear with me. But look, we're unbeaten in 4, yeah. But the thing is, like, it's not exactly been. Well, it's weird. Like, yes, we are unbeaten, but it's not been clear cut unbeaten, isn't it? It's been quite meh unbeaten. Pep has many issues to one of the best up on teams. Nope, mate, I am too. I am also Manchester City football club over the manager, and you're right. It's. I think the thing is, Matt. I think it's both. I think the players are knackered as well for the last few years, but I think Pep helps himself though sometimes. How he lines up sometimes. But that's just me. But I have cups too. I need matches that guarantee. Well, exactly, Steve. No matches I guarantee 3 points. Oh, Steve, honestly, we need Madrid or PSG or anyone to turn up. Look, Madrid for me are terrible. I'm not surprised Arsenal beating them. If I'm being real, but yeah. I'm going to comments to make sure I'll catch up with comments quickly. Declan Rice for me would be great for us. By the way, I'm just saying we should have signed him. We could have done really, but obviously that someone was mad. Bellingham and Rice, Kovacic, Nunes.
Seems to be going this way as well this season. You know, you look at the players that we've been linked with. You know, the talk that you know for the last God knows how many months it's been City are after Wirtz, and now it's like City are after Morgan Gibbs White and Cherky because Wirtz is now unrealistic.
Mate, that's
it's
PR,
the same
mate.
shit. It's the same shit, different season.
I'm sorry, right, but that
Put
to me
your fucking hands in your pockets and spend the money.
Bobby's a good player. It's a Forest player. What are we doing here? Like, again, I might sound entitled.
This is, I'm telling you now, right? This is the influence of Cheeky. This stinks of Cheeky. Let's go for bargain FD.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, fact checker, I did not know why on earth he played bloody KDB in the false 9. Had done that for years, mate.
This next one's the one that I was telling you about.
Yeah, I saw that. Honestly, a big game, mate. We're terrible on them. We're absolutely terrible on them. It's been an absolute painful, and I hate seeing this team get battered now or losing to other teams, mate. We haven't beaten this United team, mate, back to back. We've actually ended up losing and drawing with a shit United team, the worst one in history, probably. Let's know. Well, the worst one actually went down. The worst one in recent years, to say. Yeah. The thing is, Steve, we can do, but we've got to see change. We've got to see Pep acknowledge mistakes, acknowledge that we've got to play a certain team. Look, if we can't score, that's not on him. That's down to the players putting the ball back on the net. Now, I think for me, we had chances on Sunday.
Well, no, I disagree with that because, yeah, in a way, you're right. It's down to the players on the pitch, but if the team isn't set up in the right way, like you look at the game the other day against United, they were playing Kev as the false nine and playing playing Mamouche out on the wing.
Yeah,
like if you're setting up like that, how are you expecting to score when your only creative player on the pitch is the one that's furthest forward? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's fine. Big up Martin, by the way. Even lads, hope all good. Thanks for the comment earlier, Luke. No worries, mate. Not leaving, but space is ending foreseeable now. We're having a break soon as well while away. Still shows, but I'm not yet, mate. I don't blame you. Honestly, it's been one of those seasons, and I know you've been through it yourself, mate. We stopped what we are, and we've become more about shiny pops and second player manager fans, and when it isn't seed. Yeah, exactly. And I said that earlier on in the stream, mate. It's become a war zone. And look, at the end of the day, right, we all want the best of City. We do, and it's opinions at the end of the day are allowed, and we're allowed to have a conversation. If you start being abusive to other people, mate, it ain't good at all. And we've got to stop doing that, man. Like, stop being abusive. Look, if your opinion is different to mine, completely fine. But as long as we want the same thing, that's what we're here for. We all want the same thing to come to get better. Trophies to me are a bonus to playing good. It's not what you expect to get. You have to work hard and play better to earn the chance of win trophy. You can't do that playing terribly. You have to be playing the right way, and we haven't been doing it this year. I know we're in a cup semi-final, so we could do it that way. But I think with cup competitions, they're a bit different. You can be shit, but still find a way out of it. But obviously, it's
Let me just point out as well, though, that Liverpool winning the league this year is by far the worst champions. I think we've seen probably since Leicester.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, look, don't get me wrong, right? They deserve to win the league because everyone else has been that bloody shite compared to them. But that's
what I mean. If you go to any normal season, they don't win the league.
No, it's been in terms of quality this season, it's been a bit of a crap league this season. It has been. It's been probably the worst I've seen in a few years. But yeah, the team has to be set up the right way to score. It has to be. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I think all of us can agree that the way it's been set up on Sunday wasn't right. I think the Leicester it was fine, but obviously the lack of goals wasn't great. Look, obviously you win, but I think Sunday I get he's trying to control the game. I probably get a result, but it's it's. For me personally, it wasn't what I would have gone with myself, but I know everyone's, that's how it is. Big up Adam, mate. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Even it's called World War VI. Yeah, the thing is, Martin, mate, I'm not against getting players, start squad players, but like you said on your podcast on Monday, mate, I want to see the quality players come in first. I'm all for squad players. I think Gibbs White's a good player, but I think we need to be going for the top top class, not world class players are hard to get anyway because all playing at the best teams. But the very least you can do is go for the players that are very top class.
Morgan Gibbs White's never played a European game ever, and we're expecting to bring him in to be the predecessor to Kevin De Bruyne. Are you mental?
Yeah.
He's a squad player, but if we're talking about cheaping out on going for proper talents to. And bringing in players which are good rotational players, we're going back to the same shit that we've been doing over the last God knows how many years. Bringing in the likes of Kovacic's and bringing in the likes of Nunez's, who are good squad players, but they're not starters. They're not starters for a team that want to be winning the league and competing on all levels.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, mate, I don't mind if we're getting both. That's fine, but I think Wirtz for me is the priority player that I think we should be going for.
Yeah.
But both not.
Doesn't
Look,
even have to be Verts.
No, but if you're getting Gibbs White in, get someone else with him that's, as I say, better than him. So you got two good players coming in who can offer up something different. But you are right; it has got out of control on Twitter recently in terms of that. I saw the reaction to it. I don't care who comes in, but it needs to be up for it. Exactly, Steve. Exactly that as well. It needs to be up for it. Well, up for the fight. It can't just be players that don't here just to get a paycheck, mate. You got to be up for it. 15, 16. Well, that was the worst I think ever defensive scene from ever. So obviously we're not anywhere near that really, but that's what happens sometimes when you don't. Well, that's when it gets. That's probably the worst problem we get. I think localism is new. The thing is, I think Martin is that it has got. I think for me, I've seen people being critical on social media before, like being over the top on that. But I think it's probably the worst I've seen it on Twitter. In terms of discourse and discussion. Opinions and debating that kind of stuff, I've always found were a bit controlled. It wasn't perfect last few years, but it was still controlled to the point where it wasn't over the top and you could still have a chat about getting called this and that. This year it's been terrible for everyone, mate. Local, abroad, it doesn't matter where you're from, mate. It's been terrible for everyone. It's been absolutely terrible, and it's got to change in that regard. We've got to start being fair to each other on what we say. I might not agree with it, but I think you have to be a bit of people. That's honestly ain't right. First time, well, I wasn't there, mate, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I've sort of looked it up. Yeah, I think we are probably the worst. I think. was it? Yeah, win the league and then got relegated. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So it was absolutely shite. Yeah, you have to play your first game in Europe sometime. Yeah, no, Steve. Bang on, like Gibbs White. If it is Verts and Gibbs White, I'm fine with it because they're both. Verts for me is a world class talent. Gibbs White's a very good squad player that will get better playing for us. I think a better team around him. I'm all for that because I think he offers something different to what we have already. But it's kind of like we need to make sure that we get in the quality as well as that kind of player. It can't just be that kind of player. It can't be squad players again. It needs to be class talents that are ready to prove themselves. Even a better team, and also the talent like that who can come in and also offer something different as well. I'm all for. I'm not against Gibbs White. I like him. I think he's a good player, but we've got to be getting him and Verts or someone of an equal quality. It can't just be the same thing again. We have 16 foreign players. Remember, we're going 17 rules. Yeah, no, that I understand. But obviously, if Jack is off, if Jack's off the door, obviously,
I want to counter that argument.
Okay, go on.
Kevin De Bruyne is leaving. That takes the 16 down to 15. The likelihood is we're probably going to get rid of either Gundogan, Kovacic, Nunes, Bernardo Silva. One of them, if not two of them, are going to leave. That's going to take it down to 14. That means that we can add in 3 foreign players.
Yeah,
and that's as it stands. I'd expect Ederson to leave as well. So that that takes it down to 13 foreign players. So we won't stay as 16 foreign players by the summertime. By the summertime, that will massively reduce by maybe even 4 or 5. So when you look at it, we still have space for 4 or maybe 3 or 4 easily, potentially even 2. So
yeah, it's all about the blend. Cambiasso coming Doku Vodilard as well. Yeah, I know that obviously that's both players rolled. They'll obviously count towards the thing now. But obviously Edgefield doesn't count yet. But obviously it'll be Cambiasso, Doku, and Guido coming in. So that's 3 more players obviously to the list anyway. But
yeah, but who's to say that it's Cambiasso? Who's to say that we don't end up going for
sorry. Is that confirmed, Martin? Is that actually a confirmed transfer that's going to happen? I'm not saying against it. I'm just I'm not sure whether that's actually is going to be properly confirmed as a player. And I'm not sure if that's obviously right or not. But exactly, obviously, Edson will take her out the door. Somewhere. Well, Edson's not staying here. He's not staying in this. He's out the door this summer. Ortega probably as well, because I don't blame him. He's
looks
not
like Ortega's going to Leverkusen.
For me personally, yeah, that's a good move for him. It's a good move for
going
him.
Back to Germany as a first team player.
Kushinov and yeah. So
But the other thing, like Martin said there, two foreign goalies out and two foreign goalies in. Who's to say that the second goalkeeper we sign is a foreign goalkeeper? Who's to say that we don't bring someone back like a James Trafford?
It could be Chevalier. Is it Chevalier's one, isn't it? Well, it will cost
Chevalier or the bloke
Costa.
from Porto.
Costa
yeah. could be one. But who's to say that we don't bring back James Trafford as the second choice?
Yeah,
we're making assumptions that we're bringing in two foreign goalies and foreign players, but we don't know what the board's going to do.
All right, one foreign home that's what I go with, Steve. One foreign, one homegrown balances it out. That's what I'll go with myself. So Costa. So Martin, is actually Costa that we're going for instead of Chevalier, or is it still undecided? I know obviously you only know what you know, but if it is Costa, I don't mind. I think he's a good keeper. I would have preferred Chevalier myself, but it is what it is. Just what's supposed to Newcastle, Beverly. Yeah, Trafford. I can't see it being Trafford for me. I can't see it being Trafford. I think that's kind
no, but I'm using him as an example. I'm not saying that it is going to be Trafford, but I'm saying why don't there is the option there to bring in a second choice goalkeeper that's maybe a younger English player. We're naturally just assuming that we're going to be bringing in. We're going to be bringing in two foreign goalies.
That makes sense. I was going to say I had a feeling that it was between them two. And look, either way, right, I don't mind who it is. I think Costa's good. It's good because obviously has Diaz next to him as well. Played for Portugal. Chevalier's good, young as well. As long as one of them two can come in and we can give him. And also say to people in the chat, well, give him time as well to come in and sort of adapt. That's what I'm going to say. Like, don't. That's why I look at it. Yeah, I agree, Steve. No, Martin. Bang on. No, at the end of the day, mate, we agree. I mean, us three, everyone in the chat, we all agree that it's all we're hearing right now. We can't decide what the club decides to do. All we can do is hope that the club acts right in the summer and get the players in they need to get in. Now, look, for me personally, Robert, I think again, if we got in, let's say we get in. I'll say Costa because I think Costa's probably the one that's with the clause. Either way, out of the two, I'm fine with it either way. If it's one of them two, cool.
just say it well, right? If we get rid of like a Jack Grealish, which let's be real, is likely
he's out the door. Yeah, he's out the door.
Then we will probably replace him. Not saying we're going to replace him in that position with somebody that's homegrown, but we might end up buying another foreign winger. I'm just going to throw a name out there. I don't know who it's going to be, but say we get rid of Grealish and we buy Rodrigo.
Yeah.
What will happen then? What will happen then is we'll probably look to get rid of Kovacic or Gundogan or Bernardo Silva and maybe replace him with a Gibbs White. So you're replacing one foreign player with an English player and then replacing one English player with a foreign player. Yeah. So it balances itself out.
No,
16 I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually agree. I actually agree with that. I think we'll have to get some players out the door. I think a lot of it depends on who leaves as well this summer. I think the rebuild will happen, but we've got to see if players leave first before we get the rebuild properly implemented.
Can I just ask, why does Kushinov, Doku, and Gvardiol not already count as the 16 when Gvardiol and Doku have both been in the squad for 2 years?
Is it young players, I think? Because of how young they are.
No, because the young players, I don't think young players count when they've been signed from abroad. I don't think that counts.
Yeah, it's age.
Like if you look at like Rico Lewis, like he's come through the system, so he counts as a young player. I don't know how it works, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Martin, I'll send you a link anyway. So you guys, as I say, I'll get him on to have a chat. Thanks, yeah. Spare with me, people. I'll invite him over. Yeah, right, people. Leave like I haven't already and subscribe if you haven't already. On the road to 1.1k. I said earlier on the stream. Yeah, it's what I mean. Like this rebuild is going to be, it's important. It's important rebuild. I mean, and obviously we want the players that we want in, but I think for me, a lot of it's going to depend on who goes first, probably before we get players in. I think that's probably how it will be for the moment. And I think we can't know who's going, but obviously, from what's been rumored, but I'll send the link now. We should have it there. Cool. Yamal, that's not happening, Steve. I agree, that's not happening. No, like that. I was like, look.
Talking of Barcelona, have you seen the news today?
What news?
Where I don't know exactly what's happened, but they've disbanded from the
the
regulators of the league or something.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Martin, you all right, mate?
Good evening. Right, mate. Yeah, not bad. How are you two?
Decent, mate. Decent.
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's like doing mathematics again at school, isn't it, with all this bloody foreign homegrown shit and everything else you got to go through. No, the reason is it's Kushinov was just 21. Is he 21? It's by the time, as long as you don't have to be in the foreign contingent, as long as you were born. Now, I don't know the exact date. I know it's Jan. So for the 25-26 season coming up, the new one, as long as you are under 21, by the time January 2025 comes round, you don't have to be included. This is where Kushinov comes in. Kushinov is basically, because he's got this silly leap year sodness, he does count into next season's foreign contingent, as does Doku and Gabardio. So Doku and Gabardio don't have to be included this season in your foreign contingent because they're under 21.
It's mad to think that we've had Guardiola for 2 years. It's mad to think we've had Guardiola for 2 years and he's still under 21.
Exactly. So you look at Echeverri. Echeverri's fine for 2 years, and then in 2 years he has to go onto your actual squad list. Right. It's really weird, these rules. So this is what I'm saying, because at the moment, I think LB and Nobbins went through it the other day really well. It's very hard because they had the squad list up and everything. Because the point at the minute, listen, go on.
I was just going to say, I'm just thinking sort of out loud now. So what City could potentially do is we could potentially get rid of maybe, I'm just going to throw a name out there. It's probably not going to be them. But say we were to sell John Stones or Ake in the summer.
Yeah.
We could effectively bring in Juma Bar, who would be in that under 21 contingent. And that would technically then free up 2 spaces, would it not?
Yes, it would. It wouldn't with Ake and Stones because they're in your homegrown quota. Because people have got this thing with homegrown that they don't get. People think it's English. It's not. It's club trained.
No.
For 2 years. By the time you're 21, they've got to be club trained. So it's how, is it Saliba or Gabriel? One of them counts as homegrown into the Arsenal squad because of the way they did the deal. It's really weird.
It's like, for a couple of years.
So like the other one, so Vita Hayes is 20. Next year or the year after, he has to go into the squad.
I thought he just turned 19.
I thought he was 20. Is he 19, 20? So whatever he is, he has to go. This is the problem. So if you get rid of a Grealish, for example, you can then get a winger, who's non-homegrown, who's foreign, but you're going to have to make that homegrown spot somewhere else.
19 in January.
19.
So you've got to be careful how you do it.
Just turned 19.
Because, for example, you're going to lose Walker. You're going to lose Walker. You'll lose Calvin Phillips. Potentially lose Grealish. You're going to lose Carson. Potentially. So that's 4 out your homegrown.
Yeah.
That's why I said Kennedy's on the chopping block, unfortunately, because we need a foreign slot. And you get money for him.
I'm pretty sure, isn't O'Reilly like 22 now? So does he come out of? He comes out of the.
He's in your homegrown anyway, so he goes into your homegrown quota.
He goes into the homegrown and comes out of the under 20.
Oscar Bob's 22. Nico. Nico just turned 20. Nico just turned 20 a couple of years ago. 2 weeks
what
ago.
you've got to be careful of is what the club thinks trying to do is not have too many academy just as the homegrown.
Yeah.
They don't want just the academy as homegrown, because then you have got a problem down the line. Because if these academies, you're basically then forcing your academy players in.
Where are the top English players?
What I'd be up for, Mark, what I was trying to say before, was if you get rid of like a Grealish and say you bring in Rodrigo, I'm just chucking a name out there. I'm then happy if the club decide, okay, well, Kovacic or Gundogan's also going, and we replace him with a Morgan Rogers or a Gibbs White. Like that, like Gundogan and Kovacic are both squad players, or should be squad players. I'm happy with them effectively upgrading to a Rogers or a Gibbs White. But I think if we're looking at someone who's going to be the predecessor to Kevin De Bruyne, it needs to be someone like a Wirtz or a Valverde, or, you know, someone with European experience. Because I think if you're bringing in, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Gibbs isn't a good player. I'm just saying if you've replaced Kevin De Bruyne with a Gibbs White, and then you're playing, because let's face it, inevitably we're gonna get Real Madrid next season, and we're gonna be at the Bernabeu if we get Champions League, because it's every year. So if you put Gibbs White effectively into that starting 11, you're putting a player at risk to just capitulate, because that player doesn't have the European experience in these big Champions League nights. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I do get that. The other side of the coin is, though, Cole Palmer did it for Chelsea. So he sort of stepped up. There's two sides of the coin in it, and this is where the club has to be very careful.
He did it at Premier League level. You know, they were in
the thing with Wirtz is the ball's in Wirtz's camp. The talks have gone positive from what I've been told. The trouble is, it's down to Wirtz. If Wirtz says no, and listen, I know for a fact the club are trying.
Yep.
But that's all the club can do. They can't hog tie him, throw him in the boot of a car, and make him come and play.
No, I get that.
You know what I mean? That's the problem. So they can try.
We need to be looking at other realistic options. So, like, what if you're going from, and this is my problem, because we've done it a lot over the last few years. Like Luke said before, you go from a Bellingham to a Rice to then to a Nunes and a Kovacic. What I don't want to happen is the same as what we've seen over the last few years, where we go from a Musiala and a Wirtz and end up getting a Cherky or a Morgan
or Baena. I feel like Baena's going to be the guy for some odd reason.
But Baena's not a 10, really. Baena's more of
all arounder too. We need like an 8-10.
But this is what I mean by
I'm saying if we need to be having options like a Valverde or something.
Yeah.
Someone that has the same levels of sort of credibility as like a Wirtz.
The trouble is, Bevo, the 10 market is really light at the moment in terms of your top talent getting them out the door.
I can see us not getting one this year.
You know, you can try and do a Valverde. The trouble is, Valverde, Madrid, I know he's only an example to you, Bevo, I know that. Because listen, Valverde's my dream signing. I'd love him tomorrow. But the trouble is, Madrid ain't going to sell him. And B, you're talking 150 million quid.
Also,
and that's something
he's not going to leave.
Really.
But you're also saying the same for Wirtz, really. He's going to be 120 up.
Yeah, but the thing we've got McAtee. That's another homegrown that'll go out as well.
And Ortega.
So
Ortega also for Leverkusen.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. We need to. The ball is basically in Wirtz's court now. City are willing to do the deal. City are ready to do. We're basically, this is going to sound so dingo. We're basically where we are with Bellingham, willing to do the deal. The money's there. It's now down to whether you want to come. So this is why, for me, I don't think Wirtz is just the Champions League, because I don't think players look at it as a one season. Because City, they're looking, you know, you come in and sign a 5, 6, 7 year deal. So you're looking at where you're going to be. Exactly. So that's why I don't, I think you can get away. I'm not saying because I don't know, but I think you can get away with a 1 year out the Champions League. I don't think I think you'd have more problems if we said Pep was going in 12 months. You know what I mean? Because it's like Haaland, Haaland's just signed a 10-year deal. He's like, well, I'll have a year out and then I'll get you back in. A year out you can do. You can do as long as it's just a year. A year you can sort of get away with it.
That should also I feel like having Haaland should attract some of these creative midfielders because they'll be like, well, I can just give it to him. And then that's an automatic goal.
But the other thing is what no one ever talks about is you've still got the 1-1-5 outcomes now out.
Oh, they're not.
My problem with it is if you go from looking at like a Wirtz or a Musiala or a Valverde or someone of that caliber, and you end up bringing in a Cherky or a Morgan Gibbs-White to replace the late great Kevin De Bruyne, then you've got to look at it realistically and say that isn't an upgrade. And what are our chances of then qualifying for the Champions League next year? In order to qualify for the Champions League next year, you need to bring in Champions League quality players who are going to do the business in the league.
Like Martin said, the 10 market's not good right now. And just the talent pool in general across Europe is just not very high right now.
And the other thing is people are locking players into really long contracts right now. So you just see Musiala's been locked into a deal. He's got a really silly release clause, but he's been locked in. And the trouble is, I think from a PSR standpoint, we're fine. We can go and whack 400 million. But it's such a difficult situation because, yes, I know we're fine 1-1-5. I know we're fine. Well, I'm hoping we are. Yeah. But no player is going to fully commit until they know fully. Because not all players are sat there going as confident as City and here we go. If something goes belly up, that player's locked in. And he don't want to be playing in Division 1, Division 2.
Simply because of what we've done this season. We wouldn't have locked down Haaland to a 10-year contract and spaffed £300 million on a new events entertainment arena.
No, I agree.
Also,
if we genuinely believed that we were going to go down.
The Premier League make a lot of money off of Man City, and we all know the root of everything is money. They want the money. They are not going to send away one of their biggest money makers unless it's the most obvious, like unless it's like proven that we're match fixing, like that kind of stuff.
Oh no, to Kelson, if we get proven any of, no. Kelson, if we get proven any of those charges other than non-cooperation, we're in huge trouble. Huge trouble.
As long as we win the major ones.
The authorities would have been not notified. That's like literal fraud. Like that is
no, because that's what I mean. It'll go then it'll go to the next stage. Because the thing is, what people don't realize is, but that's what if we get done with any take the non-cooperation out because that's a load of garbage. We're gonna get done for that no matter what. We get done with any of them other charges, that goes to a vote in the Premier League, and they'll vote to get us out because they were the ones who voted the charges in.
Well, then how come
people don't realize that?
We went to the Supreme Court of Sport in CAS, and they said
can't do that. We can't do that
anymore. That's not open
source. That is a proven court thing. So where is this evidence?
Yeah, because some of it's time barred. Some of it was time barred at CAS, where they couldn't go back. They've gone all the way back to 2009 here.
Before these rules even existed?
Yeah, they've gone all the way. Now, listen. I'm 100% confident we'll be fine. I'm just saying players aren't that not all players are that confident at the same time. Some are a little bit. So this was one of the issues with Bellingham was the 1-1-5 issue. That was what I got told of. Yeah, he was a bit dubious about it.
Wow.
And that not everyone
terrible. Fire him.
No, you got to realize these players are not City fans. They're not coming in with the emotion and the passion we are. It's a job. They're coming in to do a job and that's it. Get the wage and go home. They're not coming in as a City fan. There's no passion behind them. There's no here we go. It is that's just the state we're in. Florian Wirtz has no affiliation with Manchester City Football Club.
No.
He's not been a lifelong City fan. He's not playing FIFA with City on FIFA 24. You know, I know we all like to think that in Fairyland, and we all think every player's sat there playing at City, but they're not. Some players dream of Bayern Munich. Some players dream of Real Madrid. Some players still dream of Liverpool and United. Look at McAllister at Brighton. his dream was to go to Liverpool.
That's a good one, that one. That's a funny one, that mate.
United.
No, that's what I mean. I don't know why.
I dream of being 15th in the league.
Do you know what, Bevo? It still baffles my mind how players are still like that, but they are.
Yeah.
They literally, because it's the badge, it's the history, it's the heritage of it all. It's everything. And they look at it of, oh, let me get United, let me get my Man United back to glory. I mean, they're never going to do it. And they're sat in living in dream cuckoo land. But hey ho, you know what I mean? It's like like I said, McAllister. He even got a deal in place with Brighton to get a lower release clause because he told Brighton, "I will only go to Liverpool. I ain't going anywhere else." So you game over at that point. That's why that release clause, was it 35 million, was only open to Liverpool.
Wasn't
it was only Liverpool that got open.
Europa League team.
I spoke with Luke about this off air, and you are starting to see, like Echeverry, like Savinho, you know, a lot of these players now that are young and growing up. And, you know, you see these Twitter trolls online saying, oh, yeah, like Savinho grew up dreaming of playing with Sean Goater, and like he was a City fan growing up, like watching Sean Goater and Sean White Phillips. The thing is, these players have grown up watching David Silva, Yaya Toure, Kevin De Bruyne, you know, Sergio Aguero. You know, they've grown up with those players. So you are starting to,
because we've been doing this for 12 years, not 12 minutes. We've been at this for 12 years, not 12 minutes. So people think that this we've just jumped in. Some do believe that we became relevant in 2008 because they don't know the history of the football club. I can't help that. I can't help ignorance. If you want to be ignorant,
Hendrick.
Yes, he wasn't alive.
The trouble is, I don't know which way they're going to go, because until we know who's out the door for that, because I'll be honest, I think some will leave. I don't think everyone's going to leave.
Nope.
That's just my opinion.
It's going to take 2 years, two years to do this level of rebuild.
Yeah, to fully clear the decks. Yeah, it's going to take probably a 2 year job to get this done. So that's what I mean.
8, 9 players out the door, realistically.
Well, there's some we just can't move. Like, they're just gonna have to let their contracts run out. There's nobody's buying John Stones at $250K a week when he plays 10 games a season.
It's not that, Kelster. Pep's not allowing Stones out the door.
$200K a week. We're stuck with him.
Pep's not going to sell Bernardo. Pep's already told you Bernardo and Stones ain't going. He's told you that already.
I think a big reason is the wages. But that
you look at
KDB
it
was very ruthless. So I can see them being ruthless with someone else. Because KDB,
if you look at it realistically,
So
if you look at it realistically, you've got Ederson, Ortega, Carson, Stones, Ake, who's like pushing 30, Akanji who's 30. You know, you've got
value. We can make money.
He does, but you're also over the next few seasons going to have to look to replace him, because in 2 years' time he's going to be 32. You know, that's
he got his replacements in January.
Yeah, but then you also. I'm not saying we haven't got their replacements. I'm not saying we've not got their replacements. I'm saying these are the players that are going to be going out the door. And then you've got Kovacic, you've got Bernardo Silva, you've got Grealish. We're already at 10. So over the next few seasons, you are likely to see 10, maybe even 11 out.
30 at this level is old. I'm sorry. The game is too fast paced now. And these guys have a lot of mileage on their legs. Like, they're only old.
And when you're talking 60, 70 games a season,
your life is limited.
Yeah.
So you're old at 30.
The amount of games you play nowadays is ridiculous. Like, the amount of injuries we're getting now.
Every game is high intensity. Because have you noticed We cannot put games away. We cannot put titles away. It's gone to the last day for years. If we were putting titles away, with 5-6 weeks to go, these guys could get more rest. But we can't put anything away. We can't put games away either. So we can't.
Cal, it doesn't help that we've got a bloody Club World Cup in June, July, which again is more games to play in yet another environment, which is going to knacker them even more. It's just again
a problem.
It's FIFA and UEFA do not care about the players.
No,
it's a load of bollocks.
But that's where Echeverri and Juma Bar and that come in, Luke. So what you do is you give Juma Bar and Echeverri because there's another thing, by the way, on the 10. It's what you do with Echeverri. Because if you bring in a Verts and you've got Foden and you've got Morgan Gibbs-White, Echeverri's got nowhere to go at that point. He might as well go on loan. You've just killed him because he's not getting in ahead of them four, even on squad rotation. He's sat there going, "What's the plan? I'm basically blocked up here." Because this is what I mean. People are talking like Foden's finished. Foden could be back next year if he has. Personally, Dap said it today. I'd take him to the Club World Cup, but I'd just have him there. Let him take his family and go and have a couple of days in Disney World and just have time off. This is where now that's where I want to see Echeverri in the Club World Cup. I want to see Juma Bar in the Club World Cup.
Martin,
now go on.
Did you just say you were taking him to the Club World Cup?
I'd take him. Yeah, I'd take him, but I'd take him for like photos, stuff like that.
Yeah, but didn't you just say
I wouldn't play him?
Didn't you say to let him have a few days at Disney World? Well, that's the Etihad, isn't it?
Apparently so. But you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just let him take some just for a bit of sunshine and recoup, so you don't get the fine. You go, he was in the squad, but we couldn't fit him on the bench this week. You make some fat phony excuse to sum it up. You take him still.
Florida in the summer. That's disgusting. That's hot and humid and gross.
But you won't be able to.
In the mountains, the high mountains.
But you can't keep them at home, Kel. You've got to take them, or you get fined. You've got to take them.
Send them to the Appalachians. We're in that region anyway. Send them up to Appalachia, some rural area. Go hiking. Go fishing. He can go fishing, dude. Fishing in Appalachia. He'd be in heaven.
This is what I was saying earlier. We've got to be careful on this. Get all the youngsters in, because the trouble is that then your bulk of your squad's going to be 19, 20. Well, you're not going to win a league doing that either. They're not going to be any good going to Real Madrid in the Bernabeu in a semi-final when they're all like, "Oh, what do we do here?" And they're all frozen up. We've got to be very clever on this rebuild. This rebuild is going to be so.
Diaz shirt.
It's going to be all over the place.
Ruben Diaz.
I'll be honest with you. In this rebuild, I mean, not everyone's going to be pleased. Some will be pleased. Some will be upset. Some won't get the plays they want.
Yeah.
This is where, sadly, we do have to trust the club a little bit. And I know that's hard at the minute. I know people don't want to do that, but we're going to have to.
You're right.
And just hope.
Can I ask your opinion?
There's nothing else we can do. Yeah.
Can I ask your opinion?
I might not give you the answer you want.
I was talking to Luke before you came in the chat before, and I said, for me this season, I think there's a deeper problem than just the players on the pitch.
Yeah, see?
For me,
Ruben Diaz. They're calling me Portugal. It's a Ruben Diaz shirt. Sorry.
Go on, back.
For me, like, if you
race.
look at the decisions that are made by the club so far this season, obviously we've got the 115 surrounding us anyway. You know, we've already gone through the Premier. We've already gone through court for the APT. We're also back in court again now for something else to do with the rulings, because that got released today that Kevin De Bruyne was leaving. But like, on top of all of the stuff that we've got overhanging our heads anyway, we've also got the problem with obviously the Viagogo, and we know that obviously they've been investigated for years upon years upon years for their unlawful ticket touting. It feels like we in the sponsorship side of things, we're not helping ourselves. But then also we've got the issue with the set piece coach. And then on top of that, we've also got things like You look the other side and you say, well, Gareth Taylor got sacked because Chloe Kelly's come out and said that basically it was a toxic place to be. I just feel like the whole way through the club at the moment just doesn't seem right. And obviously on top of that, you've got Pep making these really weird decisions, and then the 11 on the pitch just aren't performing. For me, it's bigger than a footballing problem. I think it's something that's going on right through the club.
So
they're fighting some of these battles they're fighting is a little curious. Like they're going hard after Arsenal right now.
Hi, Paul. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I keep phone calls with Paul. So you hit the nail on the head. This is why I've not had a meltdown like everyone else this season, Bebo. Because if people actually sat back and understood what this club has actually gone through in the last 12 months, is unreal. People do not realise if they
themselves were doing sponsorship deals, they're making the situation.
No, they haven't. I agree with you. That's Soriano. You got to remember that's one person doing these deals. In regards to the 115, one day, listen, it will all come out one day. It will. People don't realise how much this 115 has gone through the club.
Yeah,
this has not been a very nice experience they've gone through in the last 12 months, especially this season. When you got to remember the hearing was this season, and you've got to remember there's people's livelihoods on the line here. Some people have got livelihoods on the line because, if, like I said, I don't think we will. We get done, people lose jobs. It couldn't get that bad.
Yeah.
Because we'll get sued by every club in the country. We'll get sued left, right, and centre, and the Premier League will ditch us wherever they can. People think this Premier League, we love City. They make too much money for us. The Premier League will dump us like a cheap, what, and they won't look back twice. If people think City are liked in the Premier League, forget it. We're not.
No, we're not.
People got to start realising we are not liked. Because it wasn't Richard Masters who brought these charges. It was the other Premier League clubs that brought these charges. It wasn't just FSG. It was Liverpool. But why Pep said, go back 18 months ago, I'll never forget 9 clubs. And he named every single one of them.
Someone else.
People do not realise we're talking Leicester City were even against us. Never mind United, Arsenal, Tottenham. The Premier League hate Manchester City and they want us gone. Simple fact.
I don't think anybody has evidence to prove any of these charges because I don't think the evidence exists. It's very easy to track money transfers.
They do have some evidence because it wouldn't have got to trial. It wouldn't have got to the stage it got to, Costa.
The other side of it, Mark, can they even legally use that evidence if it was obtained by an illegal source?
That guy?
Because it's not a trial.
Yes. For document forgery.
It's not a criminal trial. It's not a criminal trial.
A couple of screenshots of some apparently supposedly leaked emails. I'm not being funny. I could go on to.
Oh no!
I'm
not trying to worry
for forging documents. Don't forget that. That's not.
Some of the emails. The reason there was more charges added because I know LB saw them. It came out anyway from Stefan. There was some stuff. You read the Mancini stuff, it looks dodgy as hell. Actually, if you read the Mancini emails, they do look a bit. Oh my god. That couldn't get swayed either way. So it depends. It all depends how you want to read it. I personally think City will be fine. The point I'm making is people don't realise the toll it is taking on the football club. This has taken one hell of a toll. And they've not only had to deal with that, they've dealt with the ATP case on top. They've dealt with Pep going through his divorce. They've dealt with Foden having issues off the field, which if that ever gets out, people will be sending a lot of apologies.
Why is he playing then? I don't get it. If he has a health issue, he needs to go get healthy and get recovered.
The thing is
because Kelson, I'll put it that way, you don't get over what he's got. It doesn't go away. It just becomes
what I'll tell you, Calcs, right? And
it's not a disease that goes away.
By the way,
I can vouch for this from personal experience.
Retire at 24.
Please just let me talk on this, right?
He's not helping us right now. I'm sorry. I love Foden. I love him to death. But if he's not healthy, I think it goes beyond sports. You just have
but Calster, then he might as well give up football then.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have
Right,
to.
I'm gonna do a Kevin De Bruyne.
You can't do
play
that.
at a high level. You can't.
You can't do that, Kelsey. You can't.
I'm gonna do
just say give up football.
Guys, go on.
Do a Kevin De Bruyne.
For the rest
Let
of
me
his life.
talk.
Are we just going
Let
to
me
see half
talk.
of a Phil Foden the rest of his career? Are we going to pay $300K a week for that? No, we're not.
Right.
I love Foden.
If
I
this
don't want to see him like this. It's sad. Sorry.
if this comes out right about Foden and what it is, I can talk from personal experience because there are people in my family who have the same condition, and this condition is not. You can't get over it. Once you have it, it only gets worse. And
that's his.
Right, I'm going to be right. I'm going to be real now, right? Someone in my family, very very close to me, has had this problem to the point where they can't physically walk when it gets that bad. They can't physically walk. That person now has to inject themselves on a daily basis just to keep up with certain levels of iron intake, because this condition, it reduces the iron in your blood and can make you seriously ill. The only other alternative, if this, the reason my family member has done this is because they didn't want the alternative. The alternative to what they've got is being fitted with a catheter bag, which you will have for life. So
I hate to say
when I say this could genuinely end his career, like fully finish his career.
That's hard.
At the age of 24. Like he could be done.
Well, it's happened to other athletes before, so that's sad. See, I want him to live his best life. If that means having to step away from football, then we might have to do that. And that'd be really awful.
You can't control what you get.
I just bought his shirt. I love the guy.
Allegedly, Tony. Allegedly, apparently, it could be Crohn's disease.
Yeah, because it could be IBS, Crohn's disease. I'm not going to say what it is, but
yeah, nobody knows. Well, some do, some don't.
Yeah,
because I don't want to delve into situations where you all get into trouble. The only thing I'm going to say is that yes, it is manageable. He's got a private chef. They're looking after him. They're trying to get him back. City are a family club as well inside. That's what Pep does. Like people didn't know the coach had cancer last season because they didn't make it public, but they looked after him till the end. Looked after them right till the end. And they said, no, we're going to they looked after David Silva when his baby was seriously ill to the point where he nearly passed away. And they had to look after his baby. And that's what it did.
Away. Why can't we send Foden away to get help to try to manage this? Try to get
it's not
because it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way, Kelsey. It's not. You got to remember. No, but Kelsey, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but it's a very cold way of doing it. It's not the way City do it.
It's also one of the only diseases that is incurable.
I know you won't like this, Kelsey, but the club see him as one of our own. He's out the academy, and they will look after him till the day's there.
Yeah,
I do too. But this version of him, I just don't think is helping us.
I get that, but they're not just going to end him, get rid of him, do whatever. They're not going to do that, and people need to accept that.
I just want
City are not United. We're not Liverpool. We're not run like that.
I just want to add as well, yeah. If this is what he's got, I know from first-hand experience how awful it is, and my heart goes out to him and his family and his kids because it is genuinely horrible, and I really, really do wish him the best. And again, this is all allegedly. I don't know if it's true or false, but if it is, I do honestly wish him the best.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, people got to remember this guy's played more minutes than Bernardo Silva over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And people don't realise this. He's played more football than Bernardo Silva.
Well, Marty's my age, mate.
He's knackered.
Yeah, he's
knackered. He needs a proper rest. But because we've gone with a small squad over 2 years, people haven't been able to get a rest. But this is why we're now getting a bigger one. But the trouble is, we're not going to buy a Galactico squad. That's not the City way. We're not just going to go and spend 100 million on a right back, 100 million on a midfield, 100 million on a left winger. We will be skint by the end, and we will get done with PSR like that. It's about managing things in the correct way. looking after your own. It's like the way City are is. I know everyone's crammed about getting all the youngsters in and getting all these boys in and Echeverry. The trouble is they can't just ditch Bernardo, Kovacic and Gundo off to the stands and say, see you later, boys, because they're all earning wages. They're all playing. You've got to remember Gundo, but Gundo captained us to a treble. That will hold a lot to Pep. That's like, thank you.
2 years ago, though.
But there's this thing. But there's this thing. It's 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years is a lot. You can drop off a
But
lot.
Kelster,
In your mid-30s as a professional athlete, you can drop off a lot in 2 years. That's not uncommon.
But Kelster, name me more than 2 clubs who've done a treble.
In the Premier
People
League,
are
obviously not. But Gundo's not.
Real Madrid haven't done a treble.
More.
But we don't. I'm going to put. Can I be totally blunt? Can I be blunt?
I don't think that's asking too much.
Can I be blunt, Kelster? We're not a ruthless club like that. We treat them like human beings. We don't treat them like pieces of crap and out the door.
I'm not.
I'm sorry, we're not. We're not that club.
Games in a week when he's 34. Is that an outrageous statement to make? Like we saw early in the season when he was playing every game, his legs went like.
Okay, well, let me put it in a better way then.
That's fine.
Right.
Rotation.
Your job. So your job. So you live in America, and you play in England. You win everything. They bring you back, right? On them, it was them who brought you back. They brought your family over, your kids over, everything again, and then they say to you 12 months later, thanks, but no thanks, you're gone now. I
never said that. I just said
no.
In a week.
No, but I'm talking about no. I'm not saying you. I'm saying the people who say there's things that you can't just think of it they are human beings. Too many people are looking at players like robots now, and you can just switch him out, switch her out, switch them all out, and they've got honestly, the best thing to do is go and watch, and this is for everyone. Pep Guardiola did a brilliant interview with Neil Warnock.
Yeah,
and he says,
really good.
I'm emotionally attached to these guys. I can't just bin them off. Because he even talks about they ring up in the morning like we all do. I can't come to training. Why? My kid's ill. Sorry. And it's things like that. I can't come because, my father's died. And he says it hurts him. It bothers him. There is human emotion behind this. And sadly, I know people don't like it, but that's us as a club. From a business side, we are ruthless at the moment. But from a Pep side of things, he is trying to look after players at the same time. He's trying to do right for wrong, and he probably doesn't know which way to go anymore. His head's spinning. And trouble is, when your head spin, you make silly choices, and that's where I think he's made silly choices, because he's conflicted about what to do at the moment.
Do you know what, Martin? I would actually love, to watch a documentary of this season. I won't want anything, but just to see behind the scenes, because it would give the fans, especially ones that fit all the time, perspective. Because you think you need it sometimes. When you're winning so much, it's great. But when you aren't winning, it's when, for me, you learn more when you lose than you do win. That's what I find anyway. In life and in football, that's what I've learned. You learn more when you end up losing, what you don't get what you want. You end up having to find a way around it. I think a lot of fans, especially the ones that expect us to go out there and get everything done correctly, you need to look at maybe at what the human side of it is. I think this season's been a real eye opener for a lot of people this year. It's not always. It's not.
Of course it has, and that's it. I understand. Yeah, we do need to get rid of some players, but City try and do it in. I don't suppose there's a right way or wrong way. They try and do it in a respectable way. So yes, they may let Gundo go, but they'll try and help Gundo get a club for him, settle his family. Because you've got to remember, it's like the Echeverry stuff. They'll be trying to help him acclimatise, buy him an apartment, look after. There's so much goes into buying players. People think it's just buy them, throw them on the pitch. There's moving a family, getting them into schools, getting them into all sorts of things. And it's very hard to sort of just judge. Not everyone comes in and adapts straight away. Look at Nolito. Nolito came over and hated England. He said, my daughter cried every day. I hated England, didn't want to be here. She cried every single day. I'm sure it was Nolito's daughter. But she said, I cried every day. Don't want to be here, Dad. so he had to leave for his own family's sake.
It happens.
It's a difficult one. Again, people will lose some. I don't think we'll lose everyone. Gundo, Bernardo, you won't get a penny for. Kovacic, Nunes, you will probably, but it depends whether Nunes, does he see Nunes as a right back now? He may do. So he may think, oh, right, okay, he's a backup right back for me. And he sends Rico Lewis on loan. I don't know. These are all the things that he has to sum up, look at, think about it. And also, when it comes to transfers in, that will depend on what positions, how many minutes they want to play, what games they want to play. Some will want it, some won't want it.
Do you know what, mine? My aim next season for me is to get back to everyone enjoying the football again. Everyone enjoying the football, the style of play, and the players are happier, we're happier. And look, yeah, trophies might come because of it, but we got to get back to that again. I think, and that for me is the ultimate goal now. Back to enjoying the football and back to playing with a bit of, passion and a bit more together again.
And Bebo was spot on earlier. We need happiness again within the camp.
We do.
That's what we need. Happiness. Everyone. City's always been a happy place. It's always been smiley. We look after you. This season, and I'll tell you off air where I got this from, but spoke to someone who works at the club, not in the media part, and they were like, so unhappy this season. Everyone's just, the way the fans are acting, the way some are acting at the club. And I don't mean at high levels. I'm talking like just some people, like with the protest, there were some employees that had to secretly DM people to say, I agree with you. I'm with you. Wow. But what the other side of the coin is, they don't see is they have targets they have to set. Like we do in our jobs, we have a target, our boss sets, or if you are a boss, you set your employees' targets. If they don't hit those targets, they're sacked. It's such a juggling act, and fans don't look at everything. We just spent 350 million quid on a women's on a brand new women's
training ground.
Training ground. Yeah. We spent God knows what on the new stand that's gone up. This all has to come in as well. It's
investment.
It's a difficult one. People forget that money gets spent on investment outside as well. No, people think there's a pot for money, pot for transfers, a pot for this, a pot for that. It all comes out the same bank account.
That simple. Be nice.
I think people think there's about 18 different bank accounts for different areas. It all comes out of one bank account.
It'd be nice, but yeah, it's not how it works.
But as fans, we don't look at that. We don't care about that. We're not bothered about a new stand or a new women's training facility. What we care about are the players on the first team pitch. The other thing that I don't think has helped is probably the other side of it is the CFG as well. You got to remember the pumping money around the CFG as well.
Yeah, they are massively.
New York City FC is having a new stadium built.
And it comes out the CFG account, overall, isn't it?
There you go. It comes out. It all comes out because Soriano and Khaldoon are not just chairman and chief execs of Manchester, sir. They're chairman and chief execs of CFG.
So it's probably why a lot of things are the way they are, but it doesn't mean that they're right. It's just it's what I mean. This has been one of those seasons where a lot has gone on, and it's just been one of those seasons where unfortunately it hasn't worked out, and obviously you've got ticketing situation like that going on. That isn't right, but that isn't right. Obviously, how the fans are being treated in that regard, and you've got stuff going on behind the scenes. It's a real clusterfuck of a season, isn't it? Clusterfuck, that's what I call it.
It's opened people's eyes, and do you know what? For me, I think we'll look back on it as a good thing. I know that sounds mad. I think we'll look back on it as a good thing for two reasons. You'll learn through mistakes, because I think I've said this. I know I've said it to Bebo privately. We've lived on a tidal wave for 5 years.
Oh yeah, massively.
We've lived on this tidal wave, and we've never sat back and smelt the roses. We've never actually, because deep down, none of us will ever realise what we've done in world football. We've not just done Premier League. We've dominated world football for 5 years.
Club World Cup Champions
League. And I don't think we'll ever. One day we'll sit back and we'll go, wow.
Yeah.
Because you know what we did was not the norm. It was not the norm what we were doing. What we were doing is what Bayern Munich were doing in the Bundesliga. And we call that an easy league.
But there's a lot of people, right? I think just generally just assume that City would have buying the Premier League. I think the last 4 years, the Premier League, by the way, is a much more competitive league than the Bundesliga is. much more.
100%.
And when you look at the quality of teams, apart from the bottom three, ignore them, but the rest of the teams in the league are just, their squads are better and they're much more competitive.
Yep.
Much more competitive. And it's like it's back today when City were batting Norwich 7-0. Like, when was the last time City actually won a game 6-7-0? Was it Ipswich away? That was it. That
Ipswich.
was it. Yeah, but even that was.
Yeah, I was there then. I was at that game. Luckily enough, I was actually at the 6-0 of all the games I chose. So I chose a good one.
Lucky. Yeah, but it's what I mean. Like, no, there's no guarantee of batterings anymore, or bat them 5-0. It doesn't happen anymore because it's the game is so competitive now and so high level.
Do you know what? I'm excited for the summer because I think we're going to spend. I think we're going to boil piss by spending a lot of money. Because Steve's put 200 million. I think we're spending. I think we'll spend close to double that. Yeah, I think we'll spend close to double that.
Exactly, 400 million. I reckon it'll be.
I honestly think we'll go to. Now there will be players that will sacrifice. There'll be players that will go, and we'll thank them. But you know how mad it is this season. KDB said he was leaving 4 days ago. Yeah, everybody was, because everyone went into sentimentality mode. I did Spacey shows, and everyone was going, play KDB every game, let him see out his future and have a great. No, but they were. And then on Sunday, everyone was like, and then everyone went, that's why he's leaving. Because everyone gets caught up in emotion and sentimentality.
In that game, though, he was never going to succeed in that role, unfortunately.
Not false nine.
Do you know the thing that pisses me off with KDB?
Who's going to pass the ball?
If KDB, right, had played for Arsenal, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, he would go down as undoubtedly the best Premier League player to ever exist.
It'd be Sky Sports documentary
for a club that everyone hates.
Yeah, exactly.
Where people are then in denial and saying, "Oh, he wasn't even that good. Oh, they bought their success." Blah 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 blah. Like, if he'd have played for United, who let's be real, United have spent more than us over the last 10 years. If he'd have played for Arsenal, they've nearly spent more than us over the last 10 years. Liverpool aren't that far behind us with apparently a shoestring budget, right? So when you weigh all of that up, if he'd have played for any of those other clubs, he would have gone down as the greatest player in Premier League history. It's the fact that he plays for a club that everyone hates.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end him.
End of the season, I'm gonna do a proper stream when Kev plays the final game. We're gonna do a proper couple of hours just looking at KDB and we're gonna chat about it.
It's like Aguero, isn't it? Like I was saying to Luke off there, and it just made me think. It's like Aguero. Ask you a question, Martin. Bit of a quiz for you, right? What player has the most Premier League hat tricks currently?
Probably Foden or Holland.
Overall.
Overall.
Is it still Aguero? Or is it sure?
Right.
Yeah.
Next one. Next one.
I was choosing between Aguero and Haaland. I was counting them up in my head.
Not there yet. We'll get there soon.
Next one. What player what foreign player in the Premier League has the most goals in the history of the Premier League?
Proper stream. I missed something.
What foreign player?
Yeah.
The most goals
in Premier League history.
Oh, Aguero,
because he's got Andy Cole.
Hang on. Henry and Aguero both played the same position. Aguero doesn't even make the top 10 in Premier League history. Yeah. By a lot of these other
isn't KDB second or third in most assists?
Second.
Isn't he? He's second in most assists, isn't he? I thought it was.
9 gigs, yeah. But this is where it gets weird now, right? I need Kevin De Bruyne to get one more assist because there is no way I want him ending this league with 15 assists. No chance.
Is it 118? It's more than that, isn't it?
It's 118, yeah. It was 115 for a little while, and I was like...
Well, this is what I was saying the other day. People talk about we always talk about De Bruyne or Silva being the greatest ever players. No one ever talks about Aguero, which I find mind-boggling. No one ever sticks Aguero into that. But it's like no one... I was joking the other day, and I was only partly joking. No one ever talks about company in that sort of sense either.
He does not believe that. There's no chance he believes that.
He's lying.
Did that for clips.
He's pulling a Mark Albright on that one. I tell you.
Yeah, no, he did say that. I watched it. He did say that.
No, he did,
lying
because he
himself.
even turned around,
Oh, what?
Martin,
He's
and
not
said
going
that
with that take. He
Bernardo
is going.
Silva was better
He's
than
not
Kevin De
going
Bruyne.
with that take.
Yeah.
He's lying
No,
himself.
yeah, you should have seen the plays he was naming. I was sat there
He
with
said
my jaw to
Bernardo
the
Silva.
floor.
Said Rodri was better than KDB.
I mean, in a
Like,
different
no.
position, yeah, he probably is.
Well,
But
as a
Do you know
DM,
where?
no, well,
Do you know where stats can be totally misleading? It's why I don't fully follow him. Like last week, it came out Bernardo was the slowest player in the Premier League. Yeah, you know, but then you look at who covers the most distance. And what it is, have you ever thought Bernardo's just actually a very clever player and actually
he's not a
goes, you know
sprinter,
what?
yeah. He's not a sprinter.
He's never been a sprinter.
No.
Never.
What he's been is, I know how to remove myself around the pitch in a clever way.
look at
I
Messi
wish you would
towards the
pass
end
the
of his
ball
career.
forward.
He pretty much
That's
spent
my
his
only
entire match
request. Is that
walking.
too much to ask? It's too
Yeah,
much to ask.
and you know, listen, you know it, Bevo, because they're playing blue.
Exactly, mate.
Yeah.
And
Do you know what it
this
is?
That's why they say Holland is
City.
crap, even though he's the best striker in the world. They're like, oh, well, he's
But
not
it's
good.
like you heard all this
He's
City
better
having
than
no
Haaland.
history.
Get out of here with that take.
Imagine now if Aguero had played for United.
He'd be the best player of all time.
Absolute
Dude.
icon of the
Cleaning up
Premier League.
stuff
He
on the
would be
wall
the
and
best
that.
striker to ever exist.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
hearing
you're never going to change it.
I'm hearing rival fans like, oh, you know, De Bruyne was fourth out of the players. Like, what are you on about? Like, they mean you say that he can do everything that Scholes can do, everything that Lampard can do, everything that Gerrard can do. The only reason you can't put him there is because of agenda and nostalgia.
Because he doesn't play for their favourite clubs.
Exactly.
And that will always be the case because sadly, we share a city with probably, I know they're not at the moment the 15th, but when it comes to a global standpoint, United are one of the biggest up there with Madrid still, and
Still
we
the
have to
biggest
share a
club in
city with them.
England.
And that's the problem. We have to share a city with them, and they've been the darlings of football for 30 years.
Those
And
FFP cheats.
this is why I can't wait for the 115
They're
stuff.
not Manchester, they're Salford. It's different.
Well, yeah. And then they'll go Newton
I
Heath.
walked around Old Trafford. I have a
Do
great.
you know the mad thing is?
Flipping at the bird.
It's like you heard about City's history. If you people actually look back on City's history, they have a rich history. We won 2 league titles before
Main Road, so-
anybody.
We won
Did
an
you
FA
know
Cup
that
before
we-
Chelsea existed.
Yeah, we won the FA Cup before Chelsea even existed.
Arsenal as well.
Arsenal.
And Arsenal.
Speaking of cheats,
But you never heard about it. You never heard about the attendance that we've got, which is a record that still holds to this day against Stoke City in the FA Cup.
That's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, but Bebo,
Cup winners cup.
by the way, I don't know how old you are, so I'm going to sound like I'm not trying to be ageist on you, there. By the way,
I know how old he is.
what I mean is that all right? You keep your double dating, your Tinder stuff to yourself. You two. Anyway, listen, if you want to swipe right, that's your choice. But the simple thing is,
I don't dignify doing it.
City used to be told we had the best and most loyal fan base in the world. People used to say, if we want any club to have a little bit of success, win a trophy, it was Manchester City. And everyone used to say that. So like they do about, like Newcastle when they won the League Cup, the whole world of football was so happy for them and they were over the moon. That was us. As soon as we got taken over by somebody from the Middle East, that changed. Because people, what they want is they'll let you have a scrap. They'll let you have a little scrap off a dinner table. If you go in and take over the table and take the head chair, oh, no. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
Get back in your box.
Like Newcastle, isn't it? Newcastle.
It's like I had someone say to me, someone said to me the other day, Sheikh Mansour saved the football club. Like, what?
The fans
He
did.
saved the football club. I went,
Fans did before that.
No, he didn't. I went, you do know we were in Europe when we got taken over. You do know we were in Europe.
Yep.
And they went, oh, right. I said, yeah.
Europa.
Hamburg. Go back to that Hamburg night. The electricity in that stadium was unreal. watching Felipe Kai's bloody Sado can't put a ball in the net and sticks it over the bar.
That's a throwback.
You know, and Alano missing. That Hamburg night is a night I'll never forget, and that was all pre-takeover.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy, and that's my thing for me is, and this is where I've had probably the kickback in. It's just me. I can't speak for anybody else. Trophies come and go, but I remember the nights of like Hamburg where we lost, but I'm sat there crying in the stand going, I can't believe this atmosphere.
I remember
it was unreal.
I remember was it Sporting in the Europa League? Is it when Joe Hart almost scored a header, and if he had scored that header, it would have gone through next round. Like I remember that game so vividly. Like it was a mad like comeback, wasn't it, against Sporting? It was a couple of years later when Aguero was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like these games that people don't remember. Like that Hart header goes in, we're through. It's what I mean.
The first team 69-70 to win a domestic trophy and a European trophy in the same season. We won the League Cup and the Cup Winners' Cup. You never heard about it because you're not allowed to hear about it. There's a reason. You never heard about that Tony Buck team. You never heard about any of that.
Manager and player, isn't it?
Because all they ever say is your legends are Sean Goater and Paul Dickoff. Yeah, because you were born in 1992. Sorry, I can't help you there, mate.
Yeah, Martin, another quiz trivia question for you.
But yeah, I didn't realise I had to do research.
After Pep Guardiola, who's our second highest manager for winning trophies?
Oh, you've got me. I think.
I thought you knew the club, Martin.
No, I do, but I'm just trying to think. Joe Mercer.
I'll give you a clue. It begins with a J.
Joe Mercer.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was counting up in my head. Joe Mercer, that. Tony Butt, that. You know, I always think Mancini won more than he won, you know, and then I realised he won 2. And I always think he won more than 2, and I don't know why. I don't know why in my head I always think Mancini won more than 2, but he didn't.
No, because that Premier League counted for 2 Premier Leagues.
It probably is. And Joe Mercer and Malcolm Allison, what a team.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you think, my God, there's a reason it's called Joe Mercer Way.
Yeah.
It's the reason we walk up it every single time. There's a reason, you know, he had the mosaic, or he's got the mosaic. It's there for a reason. I mean, personally, that's a big gripe of mine. I would love the club to actually do more stuff like that.
They should do more stuff like
I would like that Bert Troutman. I don't understand why the Bert Troutman statue's inside the stadium and needs to be outside, but that's me.
Yeah.
Talking of statues, do you know what I miss at the Etihad? The Big Bang.
Oh, bloody hell. What did you miss about it falling on your head?
Every time I walk past it, I always thought of some Final Destination shit, but I liked it.
Beer the bang. It was more like beer the crap. My God. Who builds something that if it falls down will kill you?
Exactly.
Who builds that?
That would seriously do damage as well. Like.
Is that classed as a dangerous weapon, by the way? Seriously. I don't know. I mean, it was a lovely sculpture at the time, but my God. I used to, exactly, Steve said, I used to be scared every time I walked underneath it in a high wind. Thought I was going to walk around with a 15-foot spike in my gut.
It was Final Destination shit when you walk past it, but I just liked it. I don't know.
Oh, it was a great thing. It was a great talking point, but
it's nostalgic, innit, when you think about it.
We've got Nexon Bridge. The Nexon Bridge now.
Bridge now.
Yeah, which you can get over with a golf cart. Oh, great, lovely. I'd rather walk. Never mind, let's get a golf cart over. Do you know what I mean? Oh,
Martin's probably tried it in his own car.
No, by God, it's bad enough to know when I did that. I haven't actually done that, but just trying to walk over it in a high wind is scary. Try and walk over the Nexon Bridge in a high wind. Scary.
Can I just say alphabet? Funny comment there.
Unks are,
Yeah.
Right, I'm sorry, right? If
Can I
30's
clarify my
Unks,
stance
I'm
on this?
fucking
Can I
finished.
clarify my stance on this? Because I think there's been a lot of misunderstanding. I know Martin and I have gone at it at a bunch of streams. I want to clear my name. Okay.
Kelster thinks Bernardo's like 85, just to clarify.
Yes, Bernardo is
He is.
85. There we go. We're done. I
like,
fully support Team
90.
Gundogan. I have a proof of this on my Twitter page. I said out of all of the unks, he has shown the most. I think he looks fantastic next to Nico. I think the key is you just need to play Nico in the midfield and rotate the uncles around him. I only get upset when all four of them play at the same time because we've seen over and over and over again, they don't have the legs collectively. We constantly run into trouble when the four of them play. Our midfield is easily outbossed. And I just would prefer to not see all four of them at the same time. I accept one will play every game, rotate them, and always play Nico. I realize Nico might not always be available, but while he's available, all I want is for him to play because I think he makes everyone around him better. He's got that Rodri in him. Like he can because we know Kova's not good as a 6, but Kova's better as an 8. So if you push Kova to an 8 with Nico as a 6, better for the team. Gundogan clearly can drive forward with the ball and give that creativity we need when he's next to Nico. He has not shown that next to other players. So all I want is for these, I just, you don't have to play them all 3 times a week as Gundogan just did. I don't think he's effective when he plays 3 times a week. I do think he's effective once a week. That's all I'm saying. Play Nico and rotate who's next to him. And I think we should keep Gundogan because I think he's shown more than any of the other 4 of them. I will not have a problem with Gundogan's on our team next season. So,
I love the way Kelster's been practicing that in the mirror. You can tell she's sat there going, "I need to clear my name."
I just freeloaded that with a bunch of whiskey.
The trouble is,
beer can.
No, the trouble is this season. People are so emotional right now. Like I had a chat with Carl earlier, and we were joking in the end. And I said, "Why don't you want Morgan Gibbs?" Right, and he went. In the end, it was like PTSD on Calvin Phillips and the season as a whole, and everyone's just gone so emotional and they don't know where to turn. And I think everyone's living in fear of the unknown because the rebuild is so big. And by the way, people think I'm Mr. Happy Clapper. I called this 18 months ago. So I actually said 18 months ago that we were sleepwalking into a Liverpool situation.
Yeah.
So I knew it was coming.
To be fair,
and I think that's probably why I'm a lot calmer on it because I'm like, I know it was coming 18 months ago, so I get on with it.
To be fair, Martin, I was at the Brentford game 1-2-1, and even though we won the game 2-1, Haaland bailed us out. It was the first half an hour Brentford absolutely dominated us. I said to Bevo after the game, I said, "There's issues in this team that if we're not careful, it's a situation," and it did. Unfortunately, I didn't expect to go 1-13, by the way, but it was worse than I thought it was going to be. But you saw the signs even last season. You did, Martin. It was getting there if we didn't manage it properly, and as a result,
we crept over the line last season, and it's simply because what we have done previously has never been done. There's a reason no team has ever won 4. No, there is a reason because even Gary Neville said it after the 3rd one. You're done. You're finished. You're spent. I mean, this is not a dig. Arsenal couldn't keep up with us for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And we went and did it for 4.
Like I think 5 in a row was a ridiculous expectation. Anyway, I said as well. Like if we get 5 in a row, I'll be gobsmacked because 4 in a row.
I don't think it's the 5 in the row. I think it's the scary part. I think it's the drop into 5th. And I'll be honest with you. Call me Happy Clapper. I still think we'll get top 5 because. Yes, I know our fixtures are not as easy as people think, but all our competitors around have all got to play each other. Newcastle have got to play Villa and Chelsea, so someone's dropping points.
I think it's all about getting the results, don't I? I don't really care if it's like over the line. Just get over the line this season. Just get top 5. I don't care if it's 5th. Just get it sorted out and then go again in the summer.
That's my other thing, and I've got to jump in a minute, so I'll say maybe the last thing.
Cool.
And I do apologise for about smoke a lot. My simple thing is and it's held opinions, I get it, but people, I'd rather we had to go on Sunday and lost than play the way we did and draw. And I know this is going to sound, I find that baffling with 7 games to go. I'm like, I get it, but are we saying performances are bigger than results now? When if I go back 12 months, when we had, remember, we had to go 9 games, we had to win 9 in a row to win the league. And I think every one of us went, we're not going to do that. We cannot win 9 in a row. And we did. And it wasn't even about a performance, that it was about, I don't care if we scrape 1-0, get over the line, play crap, and we just win 1-0. Right now, for me, I'm in a situation where I don't care if we limp over the line the next 7 games. I'll take 7 1-0s, get over the line, play crap, get in the Champions League, sort it out in the summer. I would rather that than play attacking flary football for 7 games and finish 8th. Because I don't get anything for 8th at the end. At 8th, I'm like, well, this is great, isn't it? I played great football, but I'm not done out. Because Pep will get whipped for finishing 8th. So I don't know. Has performances taken over results? Because I always thought football was a results business. So maybe that's my age again showing. I don't know.
It's still results.
We're at the time of the season where I think it's just a results thing. I don't care about performance. I just
get there over the line.
Yeah, I didn't care how, by hook or by crook. I think we needed to win that game. I don't care if it was the ugliest win of all time. I think we needed to win it, and it just didn't look like we tried at all. And I think the players were doing what they were told to do. I don't blame any of the players at all. I don't blame any of these players for the season. I really don't. I think they're just doing what they're being told to do. And that's what I'm just struggling with so hard is I just wish there had been more.
If I'm honest with you, I think somewhere
more, and I can't blame the players for doing what they were told to do ever.
Do you know what's mad? Sunday was awful. Listen, it was awful. But it's one of them games I don't know whether it's a good point or a bad point till at the end of the season. That's the crazy thing of this situation. I don't know whether it's good or bad. I might look back at it and think, you know what, good point. Because I had this thing with Tone, by the way. Thank you, everyone. We've had record.
I heard the beginning of that. Yeah.
I don't know whether it's good or a bad point anymore, because I think people looked at United in the table than what they looked at the way United were playing right now. People looked at United 15 for whatever they are and thought, we'll go there and smack them 5-0. Easy. When you actually look at United's form in the last 8-9 games, they've actually been one of the most informed teams in the league. I don't know how. They've done it.
They did lose to Forest.
No, but if you watch the Forest game, they dominated Forest. They battered Forest. Arsenal got a point at Old Trafford. The mighty Arsenal who've done what they've done tonight. So I'm sat there going, I don't know whether it's good or bad. Pep Guardiola somewhere has done some weird maths, and he's gone, a point here will do, and then we'll go somewhere else. Because I think 15 points gets us top 4. So what's that? 7 games to go. 5 wins out of 7, I think gets us top 5.
See, the thing is, I just struggle to see us winning 5 of our remaining games. These are all really tough games. Like Crystal Palace is our bogey team.
We don't beat Villa at home.
Craven Cottage is going to be a tough game. Goodison Park, that's one of their last games ever at Goodison Park. I think they're going to be up for that game. Like the only game I can guarantee us like winning is that Wolves game at home.
Southampton.
I'm going to make a prediction now.
At home's going to be a struggle too.
Nah. Last home game. Bournemouth will have Jack to play for by that point.
They might.
Fulham will have Jack to play for.
No, because they can still
they could be in contention for a European spot. They could be in contention for Europa or conference, and I think they'll want to go for it because my memory's not the best. But
to me,
they might really go for it.
I'm going to make a prediction now. I don't think we'll lose a game for the rest of the season.
Okay.
But if we draw them, I don't think it'll be enough.
Clip it.
No, 5 wins, 2 draws gets us in for me.
I just really struggle. Maybe I'm being a negative Nancy, but I just
think of it this way: Southampton away, Southampton away. Sorry, Luke. But Southampton.
Oh, we'll win that. Okay, you're right. Southampton away.
Sorry, some will get that, some will not. I apologise. In-house joke.
Brighton jokes.
In-house joke. Southampton away, I think we'll batter.
Yeah.
Everton away, point. I think we win our home games. Villa, if you look at Villa, they're still in the FA Cup, they're still in the Champions League, still in the Premier League. They're going to run out of steam at some point. They're not going to be able to go all three comps at the same time. Something has to give on them soon. That they will drop. And for me, I just think City will get focused now. And maybe that's me believing. I just think we'll get 5 wins, 2 draws. 5 wins, 2 draws gets us it.
Okay.
I get nervous at St. Mary's though, because we've struggled there a lot in the past.
Yeah. No,
If we get beat at St. Mary's, then we bloody don't deserve. No, Kelsey, we don't deserve it. If we can't beat them away,
they're that bad. They're that. But if we lose to them, it's time to end.
Haven't they just sacked their manager as well?
They have, yeah.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay, that makes me feel a little better. And
I'm not being funny. Are they still on for the record?
Yeah, 10 points.
Are.
Are they still on the Are they still on the Derby record?
2-0 up on them, and that happened. Yeah.
Hang on, where's the Southampton boginess come from?
That's been going for years, mate.
I feel like we've always struggled against at St. Mary's.
It's
a tough place to play.
It's like, honestly, I don't get this with Palace. Everyone thinks Palace is our bogey team. They haven't beaten us for God knows how long.
We get a lot of draws that we should like. I feel like we've had a lot of crucial draws against them. Like, what was it in 21-22? We got that 2-2 against them. Maybe it's more at Selhurst, but I feel like they're just a bogey. We were up 2-0 on them last season, and
with Southampton, they were actually a good team a few years ago. They're not a good team anymore. They're up and down. Like,
but we only won 1-0 at the Etihad.
But Kelsey watched the game. Watch the game. We should have won 8-0. Yeah, but we should have won 8-0.
4:30 in the morning to watch Crystal Palace. Don't give me this.
I never said you was.
I'm getting up at 4:30.
Hang on. Right, stop. I didn't mean it in that way. Bloody hell, someone's coming with a chip on shoulders. They didn't mean it in that way. What I'm saying is, watch the game back. Because honestly, we battered Southampton. We should have been 8 clear at home. That was a game of missed chances. That wasn't a game of us struggling. Where we struggled was putting the ball in the net. We should have battered Southampton at home.
They had one chance that was good, but apart from that, it was shite.
This is the problem. People looking at the score more than they're looking at the performances. But it's like, for me, Southampton, I came away from that game going, you know what? It's like the Tottenham one. People think away 1-0 at Tottenham was bad. You actually watch the game, we should have been 5 up at half time. Yeah. Sporting Lisbon, people look at it and think you got battered away. Yeah, we did, but we should have been 5-0 up at half time. So,
yeah. Also, the Spurs game, we should have won more than 1-0. Yeah. But that's what makes me a little nervous. Is we've had these performances where we haven't put chances away, and now we don't have Holland. So I am a little nervous. So I apologize. I didn't mean to come. I was not meaning to come after you. I'm not. I'm just.
Someone's coming very angry tonight, haven't they? Statements ready. Also,
that is not a statement ready. I don't. Do you think I'm smart enough to like write a statement out? Come on, man. Do you think I have the energy to do that? No.
Listen, allow me to be happy clapper.
Let me read my statement here.
I seriously believe 5 wins, 2 draws. I don't care how we get them. I'm not bothered how we get them. That's what I think we'll get. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. People said to me, "What are you going to do?" If someone said to me, "What are you going to do for in the Europa League?"
Support team in the Europa League.
Well, what can I do? No, I can do. I go in the Europa League and I have fun. No, I can do. I get on with it.
Timisoara away again. Salzburg. We'll be there.
You know. At the end of the day, the finals in Istanbul. How about that for you, Bevo? Look at that. Finals in Istanbul next year. That's what you call temptations.
We will be there.
We will be there in Istanbul getting pissed up.
We've not won that cup.
As long as those buses aren't as bad as what they were in the Champions League.
Well, look at Chelsea in Europa League. They won that, didn't they? Won that twice, haven't they? So, if Europa League, just go and win it. Why not? Have a trophy to add to the collection.
I'm one of them. I will say this now. If we have to do it, we have to do it, as long as it's 1 year. 1 year, then we have to go back. And that's what it is for me.
It is what it is.
I think it would only be 1, 2. I would.
With football, it's what it is.
I don't see a sustained Europa.
At the end of the day,
the thing is,
guaranteed.
It's night. At the end of the day, it's night. No, but anyway, I'm going to shoot. Big up, honestly, anyone listening, subscribe to Luke and Bevo and Alex, etc. Go and show them a lot of love.
McCunian Way.
Oh yeah, don't subscribe to me. I'm closing down. Apparently, people did not read that statement earlier correctly. People did not read that statement. It actually says at the bottom, "See you all Wednesday for the fan calling," and someone I thought you were closing. It says at the bottom, "I'll see you Wednesday for the fan calling."
People don't read today. Don't read it all today. The whole
it
thing.
was more of a. My statement earlier was more of a rally cry and just let's be nice to each other.
Exactly.
Well, we're all Blues. We're not in a war with each other, and that's what's upset me the most. It's become a war with each other at the minute, and I don't get it. You know, everyone's opinions can differ, but you don't threaten people or call them out or, you know. Yes, I am a main road wanker. Yes, I am old. Sorry, I can't help that.
Well, if you're main
that's
road
just me.
I'm Etihad wanker, so I'm happy to be a wanker of the generation.
That's just me. It is the way I am. Anyway, yeah, big up Kelson as well. Everyone have a good time. See you later, guys.
Take care, mate. Take care.
Thanks
for on there, as always. Right, I'm just gonna get the redirect ready to go for the.
Sorry, guys. Maybe the drinks did hit me.
That's all.
Not
That's
my
all
best performance today.
That's all good. It's fine. No, it's all good. Well, I'm going to redirect to LB in a bit. We're going to stream in a little bit, but big up everyone for tuning in for the last 2 hours. Fair play. All the long stream.
What was going on? Anything exciting? Were you tracking the other game?
We were looking at Arsenal and talking city pictures and that. In the game itself was pretty relevant anyway. There's not much going on in it apart from the odds like Marmoush shot on that, so it wasn't really worth going properly into, was it? Was Bevo?
Nobody has to hear me melt down for the 4th time.
Well, I've done it already with Bevo offline.
I'm kind of over it now. I'm just like I'm done. I'm just very frustrated with this season.
Yeah,
because I think we can be better. I think we have the roster to be better, and it's just frustrating when we're not. And that's just really all it is for me.
Yeah,
clearly, I'm gonna be here no matter what. If we go down to Europa, I'm gonna follow us there. If something bad happens at 115, I'm gonna go down with the ship. It's. You know,
we'll all be here.
I love this team, even if I don't express it correctly all the time.
If we're in League Two, guys, because there's a 1-1-5, we're still going to be here in Grimsby and Halifax and whoever's coming up, mate. Eastleigh, we'll still be here covering it. Because honestly,
do you know how exciting that would be to come over for a League Two game? I would come over for one of those games. That'd be so fun.
£2 pies, £10 tickets. We'll be pissed up on cheap air.
I follow the Footy Scran account, and some of the Footy Scran they show from these lower leagues. I'm like, I would go to the stadium just for that Scran. It looks so good. Like and it's only like 8 or 9 quid, or not even that. It's like 5 or 6. I'm like, dude, 5 quid for this fucking plate of food. I bet the beer's cheaper too. Like we have that in the United States. We have like the minor leagues, but the difference is we don't do they don't go up and down. There's no promotion relegation. But we do have like the lower leagues in American sports. So I'm sure it'd be the exact same kind of atmosphere. And it might actually be more of like a footy, like a European footy experience in the lower leagues than in the top league.
Yeah.
I've been to 2 Premier League games. Well, I've been to 1 Premier League game. I've been to 2 Champions League games, 1 in England and 1 in Italy.
Right.
That's all I've done.
Big up, Steve. Anyway. Let's Steve. We'll get you on next stream anyway. When we do, I'll message you obviously beforehand, and we'll get something sorted out. Obviously, and I'm not sure when it will be. Again, we're not playing until Saturday, so I'm just until then. I'll let you know obviously when we're next streaming. But everyone in the chat, everyone, Kelster, Bevo, Martin's just in. Big up everyone for tuning in as always. We're back probably Saturday, or whenever we're free. We'll work something out and let you guys know obviously on Twitter and that when we're back on again. Till then, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure follow Chatterpod as well in the description. New podcast coming out in May. Me and Bevo are doing about other stuff other than football, because trust me, we need to do that sometimes because this year's been quite mad. Trust me, in the description.
Big plans for that as well, by the way. Big plans for that.
Trust me, well worth waiting for that when it comes out because big stuff to come on that. But watch this space on that. Till then, everyone.
Massive stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We'll let you know in due course on that. Take care, everyone. Rest of your evening. See you till I die. Peace, guys.